no, it's certainly not me trying to manifest Caleb Williams to the Vikings. I mean, if Caleb Williams wants to hold out until the Vikings trade up from 32-1, we'll take that. This is simply me honoring Jordan Addison and Mekhi Blackman and Everson Griffin and Kelechi Udeze, etc., 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 etc. But some random Vikings tidbits and some non-Vikings tidbits. Is it Wednesday? Wednesday Vikings news dump. There we go. So first up, Ed Ingram. So Ed Ingram, last year's second-round pick out of LSU, a three-letter school, which is less than USC. Don't tell JJ I said that. But with Ed Ingram, forced a fumble, 4 pressures, and a sack to Anthony Nelson. Just overall was not great. Also found himself on his ace a couple times after watching the All-22, and it was just not good. But Ed... I like his confidence, man. So Vikings fan page. I thought I played pretty well. I had some slight mistakes, but other than that, I liked my performance. Ed Ingram talking to KSTP after week 1. So, I mean, no, but also I like his confidence. Also, Ed Ingram can never be like a food critic. Like, this place is 5 stars. Every single place. If every place is 5 stars, no place is 5 stars. But I don't know, man. Something I also don't know. So, high draft picks. Okay, so last year's first-round pick, Lewis Cine, number 32 overall. Yes, after the Vikings traded down from 12 to 32, and the Lions went up and took Jamison Williams. Jordan Addison already has more catches than JMO, by the way, but no big deal. And yeah, the Vikings passed up on Kyle Hamilton, who's stirring things up for the Ravens, and blah, 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 blah. And then the Vikings traded up in the second round with the Colts, take Andrew Booth Jr., the pride of Clemson. And both of them had injury issues as rookies. And in the second year, a lot of people made a big deal. It's like, oh, Lewis Cine and Andrew Booth Jr. played a 0 goose egg. D'Angelo Russell combined defensive snaps week 1 against the Buccaneers, which, I mean, you would like more from your first and second round picks in their second year, but also, I mean, the Vikings defensive back room is low key pretty damn good. I mean, you look at Harrison and Bynum and Metellus, all 3 of them played stellar games week 1. Which safety are you going to take off the field? And put Lewis Cine in. And also, are you saying that just because Lewis Cine is a high draft pick, that the best player who earned the starting job should not be in there? Right? Or is this just an unnecessary shot at Lewis Cine? Like, multiple things can be true at once. Lewis Cine has a ton of potential, and Harrison Smith is playing at a high level. Cam Bynum played himself a great game. Josh Metellus is going to be great in that versatile defensive back role. Also, can be true that Cine and Bynum are not the same kind of safety. Same thing with Metellus. Lewis Cine is the 1-for-1 replacement for Harrison Smith. And here's the thing. That's why Kwesi drafted him, because he was estate planning for after Harrison Smith. And if Lewis Cine didn't break his leg last year, I think that there's a pretty good chance that he's your starting strong safety, and Harrison Smith would have been released this offseason or potentially traded and not taking a massive pay cut. And with Booth Jr., like, Byron Murphy is obviously starting. Caleb Evans is a star in the making on the outside. Mekhi Blackman showed really well. The pride of USC. Fight on. Who are you going to take off the field? So it's a little bit of an obtuse argument, and it's a little bit of a predetermined argument. Or they just want to take shots at Cine and Booth, but both of them can still have potential. And also, a lot of guys on this roster are talented, and they earn their spots. I mean, multiple things can be true at once. So, yeah, just keep hope alive, right? And depth is important in the National Football League, as well as the guys are allowed to get better throughout from year to year. Like, the new CBA allows that. It's kind of crazy, man. Also crazy is a story. So, convicted murderer Danilo Cavalcante escaped from prison in Pennsylvania and was recently apprehended. This is from CBS Philadelphia. Breaking: escaped prisoner Danilo Cavalcante has been captured, Pennsylvania State Police said. A news conference scheduled at 9 a.m. All right, so manhunt over. I think Dog the Bounty Hunter was getting involved. Is this? I would love if Dog the Bounty Hunter actually apprehended the dude, and then he just let the local police take credit, sort of deal. But the thing is that he was arrested wearing an Eagles hoodie. So, again, not to make light of the situation, but also I think that's a good sign. I think that the Eagles are going down. I think the Eagles will be captured, and I do think that Kirko chains will show up and show out, and Vikings by 5 billion points. Speaking of points, the Buccaneers didn't score a lot of them. I mean, they only put up 20. The Vikings sort of shot themselves in the foot. It is what it is, but Apparently, all right, so Baker Mayfield said that the Buccaneers knew the Vikings' defensive signals, which is relayed by running back Rachaad White. Basically, what was relayed by White is that Baker came in at halftime and said, hey, when they do this, they do this, they do this, they do this. When I check to this, they do that. All right, so is it possible? Sure, certainly is. And especially when teams are audibling on the fly or adjusting, every single week, a defense will have different calls, right? And there's some bluff calls, there's some synchronicity there, there's some blah, 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 but generally, you're not having the same call over and over and over again. And by the way, that's what that's what the Patriots got in trouble for, filming in Spygate, was filming the hand signals from the sidelines. So that is kind of a big deal. Now, here's the whole thing. Do I believe Baker? Not necessarily. I actually think that this is just sort of Baker talking-ish, where he could say, it's like, oh, when they do this, they do this, they do this. And you would think that if your offense was so good, and if Baker Mayfield was so good, and you knew the defensive calls, so you knew what coverage that you were facing, that you would have more than 242 yards of offense. No big deal. And hey, respect. Yeah, you had a freaking 9-minute touchdown drive to start off the second half, so that's bully to you, as well as 2 10-play drives to round out the game. That's sort of on the Vikings offense not being able to stay on the field. But props to you guys. But also, hey. So the Bucs are able to run the ball, and they're able to pick up a couple third downs. But it's not like they're slinging the ball all over the lot, right? So, again, what was this a legitimate thing? Probably not. Does every single offense think that they have some tells on what's going on with the defense? Sure, certainly. And also the other way around, too, like Patrick Peterson talking-ish about Brock Purdy. But I feel like this is mainly Baker talking-ish. I mean, this is what he does. I mean, it's kind of like what I do with the Cheesecake Factory, where I will thump my chest to be like, hey, Cheesecake Factory has the best miso salmon in the world. Is it true? Absolutely not. I mean, Le Cirque and Le Bernardin exist, as well as certain Japanese restaurants have phenomenal miso salmon too. But, hey, I will pump out my chest and say definitively that Cheesecake Factory has the best miso salmon in the world. So it really is just like Baker talking-ish in this spot. So I ain't buying it. And also, if it's true, it ain't true. It ain't true. There you go. Some of it is true is that Ivan Pace Jr. is a stud. Vikings got huge value as a UDFA. And also, again, he should have been a day 2 pick. But the NFL is just so biased against short linebackers, but it doesn't matter. Hey, we got our Sam Mills. Hey, we got our London Fletcher. Ivan Pace Jr. basically is a de facto starter. Played 2/3 of the defensive snaps, had a handful of tackles, second on the team in solo tackles, as well as had pressure, got after Baker's ass a little bit. So 75 PFF grade. He was number 10 in terms of PFF's highest grade rookies. Also the only UDFA, so growing and showing, and everyone's a big fan of Pace Jr. And I think that he should be used more as a pass rusher, but I'm sure that Flores will certainly get to that. Also getting to, so the debate between turf versus natural grass came up again with the Aaron Rodgers injury at MetLife Stadium, of course with artificial turf. And so I don't know what it is. Like, the league seems to be pushing really hard for artificial turf. Now, I don't know if it's just the league and owners being really cheap. Is like, hey, we don't want to pay a grounds crew to maintain real grass from week to week. Even though you still need a grounds crew to repair seams in the turf, as what happened at US Bank Stadium before. But now at the NFLPA, their new executive director, Lloyd Howell, is pushing back, and he wants all NFL stadiums to have natural grass. I think it's something that the players are pushing for too, and maybe ownership is just pushing turf because they want it as a negotiating point in the next CBA. It's like, hey, all right, we'll give you natural grass, but you have to give us X, Y, Z in terms of revenue sharing, which I understand their negotiating point. I don't know what it is, man. But also, it's like, why? Well, I feel like natural grass is so much better. And also, like, the US Bank Stadium has done real grass before, so you can do it inside. I mean, how they have real grass in Arizona, and they grow it outside. And so there's ways that you can do it. Like Real Madrid and their new soccer stadium, they just spent a couple €100 million, and all of a sudden, like, you can put your grass underneath, and it comes back up. It's actually really sweet. But US Bank Stadium has done grass before when AC Milan and stupid team Chelsea played a friendly, which was actually the first sporting event at US Bank Stadium back in 2016. They brought in grass, all right? And actually most soccer teams and star soccer players, they actually have it in their contract that they don't have to play on an artificial surface. They get to play on real grass. So again, if US Bank Stadium could put down real grass for a stupid Todger tossing Garbaggio, horrible, no good, very bad team like Chelsea, I think that they certainly could do it for the Vikings. There you go. Liverpool. Also, some of the Vikings can do is also get Justin Jefferson the freaking ball, right? So Jefferson in the first half had 7 catches for $138 on 10 targets, and it looked like he was going to go off for a historic day. But then the Vikings had 3 drives, and JJ didn't get the ball. Kramer, strip, go. Jefferson asked today about 2 targets for 12 yards in second half. Cousins had 15 throws on 22 plays. We just missed some plays. Didn't execute fully on certain plays, but I didn't feel like they took me out of the game. Just the ball didn't come my way. I feel like I wasn't really covered that much in the second half to where I couldn't get the ball. It's just so many different people that got to execute their plays before I can get a chance to get the ball, and just didn't really come my way in the second. Now, you got to feed your studs. Buccaneers did adjust their coverage. They're more bracketing. They're more doubling JJ than before. But also the Vikings simply just could not stay on the field. They had 2 3-and-outs in the game, and it just really was unfortunate all the way around. But yeah, like I said, Jefferson went off in the first half. He's going to need a Herculean performance against Darius Slay. James Bradbury being out is kind of big for the Eagles too. So JJ, he's got to use that second half as fuel, and I'm sure that he will. Bright lights, big city, Thursday night football, prime time. Everyone's watching. JJ's going to show out. I think Addison making his national TV debut in the league is going to have a great game too. So yeah, getting off the schneid, shock the world in Philly. Also shocking the world, wrapping things up. So this is from something called The Messenger. Exclusive. Nearly 2 months after Travis Kelce tried to give Taylor Swift his number, a source tells The Messenger that the duo has indeed linked up. So Taylor Swift has had a lot of famous significant others. Like, can 2 famous people actually make it work? I don't know, man. Like, everyone's busy. Everyone has their different schedules. I just don't know. I just really don't know. But rooting for them. But if and when they do break up, you know what's going to happen. And she's like, she's going to have so many songs about Travis Kelce and his tight end. But as soon as they break up, you know that she's going to, the next concert, she's going to be wearing a TJ Hawkinson jersey, because he is the real tight end 1 in the National Football League. That's right. I'm not trying to start ish, because I think Hawkinson just got engaged. But there you go. That's exactly what's going to happen, man. Also, 87 tour. Wait, no, was it 89? I don't know. Like, I try to pretend that I don't like Taylor Swift, but some of her stuff's really catchy, man. I can't lie. I can't lie. But that's it. Your thoughts are our thoughts. Thursday, Wednesday. I don't even know what day it is. I got like an hour of sleep, so everything's a conspiracy theory right now, man. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.